Hello, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Keon.
And this is Trust Your Doctor, that podcast that registers 9 on the Richter scale, because this week we watched Dragonfire.
Written by Ian Briggs.
Directed by Chris Clough.
And aired November and December of 1987.
Yep, already at the end of the season.
Right, and...
One month in.
and finally, for the first time in 20-something years... dragons in Doctor Who. Except it's not really a dragon, it's actually just an alien.
It's a sci-fi twist on a dragon, like...
It's just an alien that looks kind of like the alien from Alien and Aliens.
And Alien vs. Predator and
Aliens 3. and the entire Aliens franchise.
We're gonna have to watch those movies for triple play at some point.
Yeah. We are. And I had the opportunity to buy all of them for like $8, but I didn't do it.
Wow.
Yep.
You could have made an investment for the future of our podcast and you didn't.
Also had that same opportunity with like Austin Powers and like several other trilogies that I noticed, but I didn't do any of them.
Wow.
I didn't buy any of them. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, $8 is about what we pay to watch them on Amazon anyways. So.
Yeah. And you have to have the DVD sitting around that you don't even want. So for everyone out there who's like, wow, digital isn't as good as the physical copy, no, it's actually better.
It's better until the internet goes down and you don't have your digital copies anymore.
Yeah, but who wants to watch anything?
Just ever? Who wants to watch anything ever? Yeah, just go to Plays, watch it live.
Yeah, but who wants to watch anything ever?
Us, apparently, because we watch Dragonfire.
And we've watched 600-something episodes of Doctor Who now, so yeah.
Perfect.
So this serial starts with some people getting captured and frozen.
Yeah, well, they're getting bought.
Bought.
Slaves.
As you find out later. You find out who sold them later, too. And there's this really interesting line of dialogue where the guy doing the freezing tells them that he's going to freeze them, and one of the prisoners is like, freeze us? You mean we're going to be frozen?
I didn't notice that.
And, I mean, I guess it's sort of just like a disbelief thing, but it's still kind of a funny line.
Yeah. One of them tries to escape and he busts into this room and there's this guy just sculpting this ice sculpture. And he just kind of looks over and is like, okay.
Just like, this has nothing to do with me.
And he drops his gun into this vat of liquid nitrogen and the sculptor gets the gun. Oh, no. Kane gets the gun out for him and hands it to him. And he's like, oh, thanks. And then Kane kills him.
Yeah, Kane's the guy doing the freezing. Everyone here also has sort of a green tint. I think it's especially
pronounced on Kane because Kane was an alien who has to live in a cold environment or he dies.
Yeah, but even the other people like Belazis or however you say her name had that same tint. Except for Glitz.
Maybe they're related to Delta. Maybe they're descendants of Delta.
Maybe.
And the reason why they have to survive in the cold is because of that genetic mutation introduced by Billy.
Sure. Meanwhile, the Doctor and Mel show up in a freezer room / place where they were selling freezers.
Well, it's an ice planet, and apparently their chief export is frozen things.
Makes sense. You get a shot of the planet at some point. I don't know if it shows up yet, but we'll just explain it now. That it sort of looks like a moon with like a slight patch of the light side, and the rest of it's dark. But there's this like sick ice palace on the dark side.
Yeah, there was an ice planet. I was really expecting them to bring back the Ice Kano.
Or the Ice Warriors, which would have been interesting.
Well, instead they gave us dragons and Kane. So the Doctor and Mel get out and they see this little girl and like Mel waves and the girl like waves back, which is like, I only bring it up because the girl shows up in episode 3.
Yeah, it's some important plot point that I didn't understand.
So they go into this like, I guess it's a milkshake bar?
Yeah, I guess so. Sort of a cafe type area.
And you'll never guess who's sitting there.
It's Ace. No, it's Glitz. Sabalom Glitz.
Yeah, they introduce him really casually. They just like pan out and he's just sitting there.
Yeah,
and then,
they usually do that in this show.
And the doctor's like, Glitz!
Sabalom! Okay. No, they usually do the casual introduction in this show.
I guess, well, I mean, unless it's someone big like the Brigadier, then they'll like build up to it. And
I guess. They kind of just casually introduce the Master sometimes.
And those are the best introductions, clearly.
Yeah, so the Doctor and Mel don't even notice him at first. They sit down and Mel's like, wait a minute, that's Glitz over there. And they're like, hey,
he notices
Glitz.
his barcode sideburns, which are back in their full glory, so...
Yeah, so none of that Ultimate Foe nonsense.
Ultimate Foe is non-canon, but Glitz's sideburns.
So they start talking with Glitz, and we find out that he was the one who sold his crew to Kane. But his ship, the Nosferatu, which is only now being mentioned, or named rather, has been commandeered by Kane and is being held.
Yeah, because Glitz lost all his money in a poker game, so you can't pay Kane. But he did also win this treasure map in a poker game, and one wonders why he doesn't just exchange the treasure map for the Nosferatu. I mean, as an audience, you know why, but...
Well, also because Kane is making him find the treasure.
Yeah, to pay off the debt.
Yeah.
But Kane has no intention of actually giving him his ship back because he orders them to blow it up, and Blaz is like, no... I need that ship. I want to escape.
Right, Balaz is like Kane's second in command, slash underling, who's also stated later on to have had a relationship with Kane.
Yeah.
For some reason.
At one point.
At one point. Yeah, but now he's kind of planning her death, I guess.
Yeah, he's casting aside for a newer, younger model.
Sure. In the form of Ace, I guess, who shows up right now.
Yeah, Ace
is
is
the new companion.
The milkshake bar.
Yeah, she works there.
She's called Ace because she says Ace a lot.
Yeah, I mean...
Instead of saying cool things like ice hot, she says Ace.
Well, okay, I get her catchphrase. It's like, Ace, like, yeah, really good. Or like, it's kind of like, it's not that common now/here. But like, yeah, I get it, Ace. And like, that's her name too, so... All right, cool, but on the other hand, it's also kind of weird. He's like, what if my catchphrase was just Keon? Like, what if I just randomly exclaimed Keon when something good happened?
You should make it your catchphrase. It sounds like a pretty good catchphrase.
No, it really doesn't.
Like you win the lottery, like, Keon.
Keanu.
Well,
Reeves.
her name isn't actually Ace.
No, it's not.
Everyone
it's
calls
Dorothy.
her Ace because she says Ace a lot.
And she tells people her name is Ace.
Yeah.
I guess she just, when she got transported to this new location, she's just like, yes, a perfect chance to rewrite my entire history.
Well, she calls the doctor Professor.
Yeah. So, I mean, you kind of guess that Mel's leaving, like, right when she shows up.
Yeah. Well, they did the same thing they did last week with Ray, where they just cast Mel aside for the replacement. And last week it was Ray, and this week it's Ace. But at the end of the serial, they're actually like, "Yep, Mel's leaving."
I mean, Mel did enough.
Yeah, she actually did something.
She was
in
with
the serial
Ace
then,
for a lot of the time,
compared to last week, where she just kind of slept in Shangri-La and then.
And I don't know, Dr. Mel, Ace, and Glitz would be a pretty good team. But
It would be a really funny team. I'd watch the season of that, to be honest. It'd be hilarious.
But no. Instead, we get the Doctor and Ace.
They made
and
some
Glitz
audio.
and Mel. Where's that Glitz and Mel spinoff? That kind of came out of
honestly
nowhere.
Surprised that there isn't a spinoff about that, although Big Finish has done Mel and Ace with the Doctor audio dramas. They just got to throw in that Glitz, and then they got the perfect TARDIS team.
Ready to take on any challenge.
Like the one right now where Glitz is like, I have this map, let's go find the dragon's treasure. And Ace is like, oh yeah, this is a dragon.
But she kind of doesn't believe it, too. She's like, yeah, there might be a dragon.
Well, she didn't really grow up on that planet, so she wasn't indoctrinated by the culture, I guess. That's like a really harsh way to put it, but...
Like how I put it in that episode of Triple Play that isn't out yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, Glitz is like, well, me and the doctor are going to go search out the dragon, which is no job for women, so you two can stay here. And they're like, wow, that's really sexist. We're going to go anyway. But then they don't go anyway.
Well, they go to Ace's room to pick up some Nitro 9.
Which Ace has apparently been making. Everyone's apparently just okay with it. I mean, or she's just doing it by the cover of night.
Well, she says it's like nitroglycerin, but more powerful, and registers 9 on the Richter scale.
Yeah, there's this great quote later on, which I guess the Seventh Doctor era actually has some good quotes, which she goes, do you want to mess with a can of deodorant that registers 9 on the Richter scale? So yeah, she's an explosives expert, sort of, and we get her backstory, which is more backstory than most companions get, including Mel.
Yeah.
Which is that she was an orphan from Earth, and
she wanted to leave, and then she got transported to this ice planet in the future somehow.
Yeah, she was doing some chemical experiment, which opened a portal to this ice planet, kind of reminiscent of Spiral Scratch. But yeah, I guess her questions about her identity fueled her love of explosives.
What? Well,
also we don't really learn much about her step-parents, but I'm guessing they were jerks based on what she says about them.
That's what it sounds like.
Or she's the jerk for not appreciating them.
Also true. I mean, she's like, I know they can't be my real parents, because what kind of parents would name like their daughter Dorothy?
Yours, Ace. It's time to face the truth. I mean, maybe what would be cool is her at the end of her run either reconciling with her step-parents or like learning her real parents are still alive or something like that, but I doubt that's going to happen.
If they make it to the end of her run before the show gets canceled.
No, I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen. But yeah, it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that we don't get that, I suppose. If we don't get it.
Maybe.
If we don't get it.
She's wearing like a kind of questionable shirt.
Well, then she puts on this jacket that has
like a biker jacket,
tons of patches on it.
Yeah. Maybe her step-parents are jerks for giving her a torn-up jacket that needed to be patched. No, I'm pretty sure she just did it because she thought it looked cool.
Yeah, maybe her step-parents are jerks for giving her this biker jacket that they just found at a thrift store.
But I'm more concerned about the shirt underneath it and the design on that shirt, which is pretty weird. Pretty weird.
Maybe she's just into some weird things.
Yeah.
I mean, she makes explosives.
Yeah, she is into some pretty weird things. So Mel and Ace decide to head through the corridors, and they find a frozen off entrance.
Well, they keep hearing over the PA system. It's like, if there's someone who can clear this ice blockage, please come to the bay. And they're like, we can clear that ice blockage. So they go over there with their Nitro 9 and blow it up, and somehow don't decimate the entire area, because
the entire structural integrity of the complex.
That explosion was a lot smaller than Ace had made it out like it was going to be.
Yeah, I guess she's just lying about the 9 on the Richter scale thing, or like the people who made this cereal just have no concept of how devastating that would be. Either one, really.
Or by saying it registers 9 on the Richter scale, they can just make it like a completely arbitrary explosion size in every cereal and just be like, yeah, it's a 9 on the Richter scale. There was just different atmospheric conditions.
Sure.
And just use it to fit the plot. Have explosions that fit the plots.
Sure.
I really hope there's more explosions in the coming 2 seasons.
Yeah, I really hope this isn't just one of those character points that only exists in their first and sometimes last serial.
Meanwhile, the Doctor and Glitz are... Okay, so Glitz goes off ahead, and the Doctor's like, well, I'm going to climb down this chasm.
Great idea there.
It ends with him hanging from his umbrella. He's like, well, this was a mistake. I was like, you did this to yourself, Doctor.
And Ace and Mel get captured by Balaz, who has decided to disobey Kane and go commandeer the Nosferatu herself so she can get away.
Yes.
So she and her lackeys take Mel and Ace away, and then somehow they're confronted by the dragon, who's actually not a dragon and is actually just...
Well, they escape, I think.
Yeah, I think they escape. And the dragon shows up, and you're like, oh my god, it's one of the aliens from Alien. Because there's only... Well, it's the alien from Alien.
Worse.
Yeah, but worse. Much worse.
It looks like paper mache.
Yeah, it does.
But I liked the the dragon as a character.
Sure.
He actually had a character, which was impressive for a completely mute...
yeah, he did. He had
being.
a character. It wasn't really a very complex or interesting character, but sure.
No, but you felt... you kind of...
I didn't really feel bad for him when he died.
Okay.
Honestly didn't.
You preempted what I was going to say.
But yeah, he was cool. Pretty questionable. Well, we'll get to the questionability of why he, of all people, was the jailer. But yeah.
Spoilers. Well, he shoots at like Ace and Mel, and they run off. And the doctor
he shoots them with a laser, and Ace is like, "He's not a real dragon. He has lasers." And I'm like, "So a real dragon can't have lasers? All right, I see where you stand, Ace.
Real dragons have fire."
He has fire too. He has the Dragonfire.
Yeah, as soon as it was an ice planet, I was like, are they trying to be clever? It's a dragon, but it's actually an ice planet. And
well, that's what it's supposed to be like. It's the only fiery thing on the planet. But
we forgot the really clever line. Someone obviously patted himself on the back for this. And Glitz, like when he's talking about the map, he's like, "This is the real McCoy." And I was like, wow. And he says that because we forgot to mention the map is actually a fake because Kane made it and gave it to Glitz and was like... Well, he made it and put it in the poker game through one of his subordinates so Glitz would win it.
Right, and Kane has also been monitoring Glitz and the Doctor and pretty much everything that's going on.
Oh, there was another funny line where Glitz lost all his money and Balaz goes to Kane. He's like, "Glitz has no money to pay us back." And Kane's like, "Of course he has no money. The game was rigged." Yeah, so...
Poor Glitz. He still is kind
of a terrible person.
Yeah, he is, but... Yeah.
Okay, well, so now he finds the doctor and he's like, "Doctor, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'm trying to climb down." He's like, "I'll help you down." But he's at the top.
It's like this really awkward scene.
And instead of helping the doctor up, which is what you would think you would do, like Glitz somehow finds a completely different way to get to the bottom of the chasm because the next scene is him, like, the doctor on Glitz's shoulders climbing down onto the floor. And I was like, how?
Really awkwardly climbing through Glitz's legs.
And I was like, what?
For the shippers had a field day with this. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, those Dr. Glitz shippers. All one of them.
OTP, okay.
There's probably more Dr. Mel shippers than... There's probably more Mel Glitz shippers than Dr. Glitz shippers.
Yeah, probably, as weird as that is.
Let's be completely honest here.
As weird as both of those pairings are. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, all right.
Mel and Ace just kind of run through the ice corridors and eventually
get hypothermia.
And die. So, yeah. You wonder how Ace travels with the Doctor. The Doctor just goes back in time and picks up a younger Ace. And actually, they just find the Doctor. And...
Yeah.
Sylvester McCoy is actually doing this interesting thing where he runs through the corridors. He actually acts like he's slipping through the corridors, which I thought was interesting because it's supposed to be slippery. So that's a point on him for actually playing the part. Whereas
and
no
a negative on everyone else for not doing it.
No one else is.
We also forgot to mention the best part of this serial, which is when the Doctor is about to leave the cafe and he tries to pet that little creature and it just snaps at him.
I really appreciate the small things Sylvester McCoy is doing in the part.
Yeah, whether that was... I doubt that was his idea, but...
No,
yeah,
but
he made it happen by playing it, I guess. So...
I appreciate that they're trying to do more things like that.
Yeah. In this one serial. It's probably not going to happen again.
They've been doing like some small things that they haven't done before this entire season, but I guess we'll talk about that at the end because this is the season finale.
Yeah.
So the Doctor, Glitz, Mel, and Ace find the dragon And then the dragon doesn't shoot them, and the doctor's like, oh, the dragon's friendly.
Yeah, the doctor stops Glitz. The doctor and Glitz have already encountered the dragon, actually, and the doctor stops Glitz from shooting it. This scene was weird because it was so low energy, and it just felt like neither of them were acting, really. And Glitz was like, but why shouldn't I shoot it? The doctor's like, I forget his line. But then he just not casually, but he just low energyly takes Glitz's gun and just throws it over his shoulder. And I don't know, it felt like neither of them were acting in this scene. I don't know.
He's doing the Tom Baker thing. Yeah, well, the dragon now is just kind of like, what's up, my home dogs? And
except he doesn't talk, so he's more just like...
And the doctor is like, oh, okay, yeah, show us this hologram. And
in the ice garden, which we actually already saw at some point. I think the doctor and Glitz stumbled into it, and they're like, what's this?
Yeah, so...
It does look pretty cool, actually.
Most of the sets for the serial were actually like pretty decently constructed.
Yeah, I guess. You only got that one angle of the ice garden, though, for some reason.
It was probably like the in the reboot when they built the TARDIS set, they only built it so it could only be filmed from one side. Wow. So you always see the TARDIS set from the one side. It's because they didn't build a wall on that side.
Great. I mean, throughout the entire classic show, there really is not much variation in how you see the console room. But
that's actually true.
There is some variation.
I mean, if you think about it, you've never actually seen it from the opposite side where the entranceway is on the right.
No, you haven't.
Which, if you think about it, is
some different angles.
Kind of weird.
But yeah, I think at this point it's sort of just it's part of the show. The door's on the left and the door to the interior's on the right.
Which means that maybe the way they constructed the console set for the reboot with the first console set was intentional in some regard.
I mean, maybe or maybe not like so much of a throwback as like, well, this is how it's always been, so this is how we're going to do it now.
But eventually they do build full 360 TARDIS sets, and we do see it from all sorts of crazy angles, and then it gets exciting. But until then...
until then, there's this.
Until then, we have that hat stand right by the door that gets used for actually putting hats on for probably the first time ever in the show. So the Doctor, Mel, Ace, and Glitz go into the room, and the dragon, starts up this hologram that explains...
An info dump hologram. Yeah. Definitely the best way to tell a story.
Info dump hologram.
We also didn't mention that Kane's subordinates tried to kill him.
So he kills them. Oh, and he kills the sculptor. He they finished the sculpture, and he's like, no one else can look on this beauty, and he kills the sculptor.
And it's a woman. Who we find out who she is right now.
The sculpture, not the sculptor.
Yeah. And we also find out that Kane is not from this planet. He's from another planet that's actually colder. And even this ice world, I think that's actually what the planet is called, Ice World, or Svaros or something like that.
I think Svaros was the name of his original planet, and the Doctor recognizes the name, but he can't find it on the star charts, which is what leads him to that conclusion at the end.
So how Kane's subordinates try to kill him is by raising the temperature in his little cooling chamber thing, but that doesn't work. He wakes up.
It does melt the sculpture, though.
Yeah, it does. So he's pretty mad about that.
Yeah, so he kills them. Apparently just him touching you will kill you because he's so cold. His blood is at like negative 10 degrees Celsius at its warmest in the serial.
Yeah, so it's like frozen solid, I guess. So yeah, the hologram appears and tells them that Kane is a criminal from Svalbard. No, that's a real island.
An island, yeah.
He's a criminal from some other planet
with an S.
And he was part of a team with Exana.
Oh, the planet Proamnon.
Yeah, I think the ice world was actually called...
Oh, it's, Svartos.
So he was part of this dastardly criminal duo.
Yeah, I guess like a Bonnie and Clyde thing.
Sort of, maybe. But but they were about to be caught. So Oksana, his partner, killed herself, and he was taken
She pulled
prisoner.
a Hitler.
I guess, and he was just sentenced here
To exile.
to exile
Forever.
And the dragon is his jailkeeper and also means of escape. Really bad decision there.
Yeah, so they made this questionable decision when they exiled him, which was basically, he'll never be able to do anything on this planet because we'll hide the power source for the planet in the dragon, and the dragon will kill him if he gets close. But then somehow he develops it into this massive tourist industry. So
/ moon base layer thing.
So
I mean, there's also the question of why they thought including the way of escaping in the jailkeeper was a good idea.
maybe it's like a test. They like trying to induct him back into society. Like, if you can figure out how to get the Dragonfire from the dragon without getting yourself killed, you can rejoin our society.
Or if you don't try and escape, then we'll let you back at some point. But we're not going to tell you that. Kind of like that episode of South Park where they like break the mock whatever barrier with the Boy Scout race car things. The aliens test them. That was a good episode.
That sounds great. Well, episode 2 ends with the most non-cliffhanger because Kane just goes, "Soon the Dragonfire will be mine," and that's how it ends.
Meh.
Because we find out, that the Dragonfire is the power source that's hidden inside the alien's head.
Yeah, and the alien who claimed to be a dragon is actually just a robot, I think.
I don't know.
Pretty sure it's a robot.
It might be a real alien.
When it opens its head, you see a bunch of wires, but that might have just been shoddiness in the costume.
Might be like an exosuit.
I don't think it's an exosuit.
Like the Daleks type thing going on here.
I don't think so. But I don't know. Really don't know.
Yeah, I mean.
So Blaz dies at some point.
Well, we already mentioned she died because she tried to kill Kane and Kane killed her. And
we didn't mention she died. We mentioned a bunch of his subordinates died.
Yeah,
but we didn't mention that she specifically died.
Yeah, she was trying to escape on the Nosferatu. She like countermanded Kane's order to blow up the Nosferatu. And so Glitz at this point in episode 3 kind of just says, "Well, it's been fun, you guys. I am out." And tries to escape on the Nosferatu, only to witness it leave without him with everybody else on the space station except for the little girl and her mom.
Right, because Kane has decided that it's a great idea to start killing a bunch of people, so he does that through his guards. So they all escape on the Nosferatu, which Kane has blown up, and then Glitz is like, "Oh shoot.
Good thing I didn't get on that spaceship."
But he's also really sad that it's gone. I mean, maybe kind of would have been more impactful if the Nosferatu was actually a part of his other serials. But whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Nothing much you can do about that now.
Also, Ace has been captured, and maybe yet, but also, I don't know if it was yet, but because she also takes the coin thing.
There's that scene where the Doctor is going to go look at the star charts on the planet, not the ones in the TARDIS, because they're closer. And he's going, and Glitz is like, "Ace, Mel, you stay here. This is a job for men." And then the Doctor's like, "Yeah, we only need one person. Glitz, how about you stay here with them?" And then Glitz is like, and Ace is like, "Yeah, why don't you stay with us, Glitz?" So that was funny.
So the way Kane brands his subordinates, I guess, is by making them pick up this like super frozen coin.
Yeah. Yeah, fun fact, cold things can give you 3rd-degree burns too. It's an actual thing. It's not just made up for the serial.
You should try it.
No.
If you don't believe it.
There was that ice challenge that went around for a while.
The ice bucket challenge?
No. One of those other dumb internet challenges, like the cinnamon challenge and the milk challenge. There's the ice challenge where you put like salt on ice.
Oh, yeah.
And then you press it against your skin. Don't do that. That'll actually give you burns.
Yeah.
So, fun fact. So the Doctor goes with Ace and Mel back to the TARDIS, and Ace is like, this isn't a spaceship, you're lying. They go inside, and she's like, Ace!
Keon! Okay, no. See how weird
Ice
that
hot.
is? But imagine, like, if your catchphrase was Dylan! Like, just see how weird that is? I get that Ace is, like, an actual thing that people probably said.
I mean, the comparison is more like, what if you told everyone your name was Cool?
I guess. Sure.
So the Doctor's looking at the TARDIS star charts, and then he immediately leaves the TARDIS with Ace and Mel. And
He's discovered something, but you don't know what yet.
And then Ace goes back. Her desire to blow things up becomes a detriment because she decides to go back to her flat/apartment to get more Nitro 9, and she gets captured.
Oh.
And then Kane has sent his last 2 remaining subordinates to kill the dragon, and the dragon basically saves the little girl from the subordinates.
Yep. They have these tracker things on their guns which point to the little girl. I didn't know what was up with that.
They point to non-terrestrials, he said, so that's why I picked up the girl. I guess it makes sense then why he got everybody off the planet, because I guess they were all like quote-unquote non-terrestrials.
Right, sure.
So that the tracker would track the alien, but the little girl stayed, so the tracker tracked her instead.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But anyway, they kill the alien.
Yeah, but not until after the aliens kills them also.
Yeah.
Because they try to take the Dragonfire, and there was like a booby trap, and it kills both of them. So then the Doctor and Mel get the Dragonfire and go to Kane with Glitz, because Glitz just doesn't know what he's doing now, because his spaceship's been blown up, he's got no money, he's just basically just nothing.
I mean, he pretty much just wants revenge against Kane for blowing up his ship. We also didn't mention how one of Glitz's guys escapes and like wants revenge against Glitz, but dies.
I think Kane lets him go.
I don't know.
Go kill Glitz. I think that was his plan.
Anyway, they show up in the control room or whatever. Ace is there, Kane is there, and the Doctor's like, hey, Kane, you know that planet you always wanted to go back to and get revenge on? Well, it doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
And Kane's like, wait, what?
Yeah, he's like, check the star charts. So he does, and he's like, no. And then the Doctor's like, yeah, when the star went supernova, wiped out all your planets. So Kane just commits suicide. And then look at this gruesome scene where his body melts. It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, so that's how Kane meets his end.
He lets unfiltered sunlight just burn him to death. And then there was...
They reveal that the entire side of the planet is a ship.
Yeah. The colony is a ship, and Glitz is like, sick, this is my new ship now. And, the little girl gets reunited with her mom. So, yeah, I guess that subplot, like, existed to explain why, so that they didn't kill the dragon immediately.
What subplot?
The little girl just being lost on the base.
Sure.
Her name was Stella. Not like Stella, Stella. Stella, like the adjective, Stellar.
That's interesting.
I thought you were going to say that's Stella.
It's not. It's Ace.
It's ice hot.
It's Ace hot. Yeah.
Now there's like...
This was actually the most enjoyable serial of this season.
Well, Mel leaves now. There's this...
Oh yeah, I forgot that Mel leaves. I forgot the serial isn't over yet.
Yeah, there's this kind of clever foreshadowing where Glitz picks up the microphone. He's like, I'm your new captain now. And then he says, there's going to be some changes around here. And as he says that, it like zooms in on the Doctor. And I was like, what? And
you knew Mel. Like, come on.
Yeah, no,
you
I
knew
knew
Mel was going to leave. I mean, I knew that Ace existed as a companion.
Yeah,
I
so
just
did
didn't
I.
know that she showed up
as soon
here.
as she showed up, I knew Mel was leaving. But yeah, I thought it was clever that, there's going to be some changes around here. And then it's like, it cuts to the TARDIS. And I was like, okay, I see what you're doing, Chris Cloverfield.
And yeah, Mel reveals that
she's just leaving
to go travel with Glitz.
She has the worst write-out, like, of anyone since Dodo, because she's not leaving for any reason. She's still leaving.
I mean, even the people who don't leave for any real reason, like, yeah, whatever, sure. But she's not even leaving to stop traveling around the universe.
No,
she's just leaving to travel around the universe with Glitz, this known criminal and terrible person.
But on the other hand, what I did like was the doctor said goodbye, and they had a little touching moment, and then he gave her a hug, and he's like...
Touching, yeah.
He gave her a hug.
Really brought those tears to my eyes.
It doesn't have to bring tears to your eyes to be touching.
No, it doesn't, but I don't think it was that touching.
He's like... The doctor was clearly torn up about it. He was like, "Dad, damn it, why do people keep leaving me?" And then he like gives Mel a hug and he's like, "All right, safe travels." And then Glitz is like, "All right, well, I'm leaving." And Mel's like, "Have room for one more," which means that she hadn't even planned that Glitz was going to take her when she decided to bail on the doctor.
No, it doesn't necessarily mean that.
Because Glitz doesn't know she's coming. He's like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "Yep, I'm coming with you now." And that means no more criminal activity.
That doesn't mean that she didn't plan it before.
It implies that Glitz didn't know, at least.
Glitz didn't know, but that doesn't mean that Mel didn't plan it before.
Well, what I mean by planning before is that she didn't know that Glitz would let her come, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, she didn't, but she could have just still planned, the idea, which she obviously did.
And then she's like, Ace doesn't have anywhere to go, and the doctor's like, yeah, she does. She's going with you to whatever the place was, wherever Glitz is going. And then Mel's like, and the doctor's like, Oh, because she says, "Oh yeah, Ace is from the 20th century," and the doctor's like, "Oh,
I guess that means I'm required to take her with me because I'm required to let anyone from the 20th century Earth onto the TARDIS."
Yeah, any like approximately teenage to middle-aged 20th century woman from England is required to travel with the doctor on this show, unless your name is Ray because you're from Wales and.
Right. So, how about that Mel?
It ends on a scene of the little girl smiling as she watches the TARDIS dematerialize.
I guess sort of implying that she knew more than she was letting on, maybe.
It's not what I got from it at all. I just thought it was just a scene to end on. They did like Chris.
Kind of like what they did last week with the beekeeper.
Maybe that's just the running theme is that they just ended on some like non-inconsequential character.
I mean, the girl wasn't that inconsequential, nor was the beekeeper.
That's true.
More of just a minor character.
Yeah, well, as we all remember, the beekeeper was the most powerful person apparently in all of Wales.
Apparently in the known universe.
Yeah, even the doctor fears the beekeeper.
Fear the beekeeper. Fear him.
Maybe he's a renegade Time Lord. Name's the beekeeper. His TARDIS is shaped like a beehive.
I mean, if he is, then he does a better job of being a renegade than any other renegade by completely not letting on that he's a renegade. So, yeah, Mel is gone.
Kind of sad, because I was hoping we'd get some character development from her, and we never really did.
Yeah, I mean, she was set up to be, like, kind of a cool character and not like Perry. Like, I don't know, when she was introduced, it was sort of like, hey, Perry, who we never did anything with? Well, here's Mel we're going to do some stuff with. But then she kind of just fizzled out.
Well, she had a really short run, too, which is, like, surprising in some aspects, because most companions stay more than a season, and Mel did a season and 2 serials. She did 6 serials.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the way they set it up, it seemed like they were going to do something with the whole computer skills thing, because they made it a big point in the first serial. And I mean, they kind of brought it up, like, occasionally. They were like, oh, yeah, she's really good with computers, she can help you. But they never really did anything with it, or never really went anywhere.
No, not really.
Although, honestly, it would have been like Perry's botany skills that they forgot about for one season and then put in every single serial for a season.
Yeah, watch next week. Ace is going to do some computer stuff.
No, because all the next season serials would have been commissioned with Ace in mind, because by the time they're commissioned...
Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen.
No, it doesn't. It just means it's more unlikely to happen.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I wouldn't put Mel anywhere near the top of my companions list.
I put her above the middle somewhere. Just because I feel like Bonnie Langford was a decent actor and she did some pretty good stuff with the role, and what they gave us was interesting enough, I suppose.
Really the main thing I'm going to remember her for was her really high-pitched screams.
Yeah, I guess there was a scene
which she did in this, the dragon, she screams.
Yeah, I guess that scene was kind of like to set up the difference between Ace and Mel, because Ace was screaming, Mel was screaming, and Ace was like gonna blow the dragon up with some Nitro 9. I guess that's like they were trying to set up, this is how Ace is gonna be different from Mel. Like,
guess so.
I'm definitely curious to see where that's gonna go, though, because I don't know anything about Ace.
Other than what we learned about her in this serial, which is like actually more than most companions in their entire run. It's about the same
as what we got from Mel. We said the same thing about Mel because we got that whole she's from a small village and she likes computers and everything, which was also more than we get for every companion ever.
Yeah, but on Ace, for Ace, it's sort of, I don't know, seems more like it's going to actually lead into a story about her. In some ways, whether it does or not, that's what it seems like. So I'd say it's a bit more for Ace.
It almost seems like J&T has this problem where he's really good at giving companions backstories when they're introduced, but never doing anything with it. Because when we got Perry, we got the whole, she's a botany student, she has a stepfather, and a uncle, and her don't really get along sometimes, but they do sometimes. And then Mel, we got the whole, she's from a small village, and she really likes computers, and Ace is like, she got taken from the 20th century and dropped on this ice planet. She really likes explosives. She's an orphan. So we have all these characters with like really in-depth backstories that we get in their first serial, which is like a lot more than we can say for like anything pre, I guess, the J&T era. Because like Nissa, Tegan, and Adric, we all got, well, not Adric to a lesser extent, we all got also in-depth backstories. Like Tegan was an air hostess, and Nissa's father got killed by the monster.
Yeah, well, Nissa was more than.
And if you could like compare that to all the companions beforehand, like
they usually just have like one character trait, and that's pretty much it.
But he like has this problem where he never follows through on it.
Well, this show's more focused on like the alien of the week and the planet of the week and like the problem that they're encountering on these planets. So like I'm not too surprised by it or concerned with it, but I guess it would be nice. So
it's like Turlo was the one exception because they actually set up something and then followed through on it and gave him an actual character arc. But
I guess we'll see where they go with Ace in the 2 seasons left of the show.
If they do anything with her in the 8 serials we have left. Which is, I guess, is a good segue into this season.
This was the only good serial this season. Everything else
this serial was definitively good.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's been increasing in quality every week, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it was just a steady increase.
So, and I think that's Sylvester McCoy falling into his role, Andrew Cartmel falling into his role as script editor.
Yeah, I think it's also the stories themselves actually being more enjoyable.
True, fair point. But, I think next season we'll continue the trend, and I think we'll get a steep uphill until we end, and we'll end on a high note.
You can hope that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with hope.
I hope it doesn't, so we get some hilariously bad serials in there. Gotta have at least one more hilariously bad serial. Gotta have at least one more Underworld.
I don't think we really want another Underworld. Like, let's...
Yeah, speak for yourself.
What's the name of Obama's memoir? The Audacity of Hope. This whole podcast feels like the Audacity of Hope. Well... You can email us at thedoctor@decorativevegetable.com. Questions, comments, concerns, angry rants, love letters, thoughts on this serial. In the past week or so, we had some problems with the podcast feed because the 3-year special didn't release on time. But by the time this goes out, those should be fixed. But if they're not, send me an email and tell me, because I won't know unless I find out by some weird coincidence. You can also find us on YouTube, iTunes, and Google Play, all at Trust Your Doctor. Leave a rating if you like the show.
Check us out on Facebook, Trust Your Doctor. Like us on Facebook. Also check us out on Twitter, TYD Podcast, and follow us on Twitter. And next week, we watch Remembrance of the Daleks. But until then, The end.